What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mornings with Alex. I'm Alex, and it is the morning in Shanghai. So right now it's a little bit later. It's 8:50, so I have to head to work in about 10-15 minutes. But I wanted to put out this video really quickly talking about why you should stop using WeChat and AliPay. So it's a little bit of a clickbaity title, I'll admit, but there are actually some good reasons why you might not want to use WeChat and AliPay in every single situation. So for those of you that are new to China and aren't totally familiar with WeChat or AliPay, what these systems are is they are basically China's own own payment processing, cash replacement, credit card / debit card replacement system. So on your smartphone, where's my smartphone? Let me grab it really quickly. So on your smartphone, you can download an app called WeChat or AliPay, and you link your bank account with it, and you can basically use that app to pay for just about everything in China. By that I mean you can pay your cab rides, you can pay, when we paid our security deposit for our apartment, we used WeChat. When you go to a restaurant, you can use WeChat or AliPay. Basically anywhere that money is transacted or accepted in China is going to accept WeChat or AliPay. An extreme example of that is even panhandlers in the streets of Shanghai or in China will have a smartphone with AliPay and WeChat. And that's great if you have AliPay and WeChat, and it's a little bit scary when your phone is running out of battery, because in China really your smartphone is your life. It can be your wallet, it can be your the way to get home because you're going to use it for the metro. It could be the way to get home because you're going to use it for Didi, which is China's Uber. But all this together makes WeChat and AliPay super convenient. So why on earth would you not want to take advantage of this convenience for WeChat and AliPay if you're living in Shanghai or China? Well, if you are an expat, then you have a few different advantages and kind of a different mentality when it comes to financial services and products. So in a lot of the Western worlds, in the US and in Europe, credit cards are very prevalent. While in China, the mentality has always been cash. So before AliPay and WeChat, a lot of the transactions, day-to-day transactions, were done in cash. And people would carry around, if you're a successful businessman, you might carry around quite a bit of cash with you for that night out or for that week. And so, you actually still have this mentality a little bit in China where men will carry around essentially like purses because, they're used to carrying around large quantities of cash. And, to have like a night out in the town, you might not be able to fit that amount of cash in your wallet. So they actually carry around larger satchels where they'll have cash. But now that WeChat and AliPay are a lot more prevalent, people will still carry around these larger bags for men, but gone are kind of the days when they're carrying a lot of cash. But what stuck around was the mentality of just paying with debit, so paying in cash or cash-like equivalents. So by and large, WeChat and AliPay are debit cards. They're cash-like equivalents, meaning that when you pay someone, when you buy something from a store, you walk in a convenience store, you pick something up, and you pay for it with AliPay and WeChat, you're really paying directly through your debit card. So you're going to pick that item up, check out, and when that cashier scans your QR code, so WeChat and AliPay, all those apps work on basically a QR code. So you have a QR code on your screen, you'll walk up to the cashier, they'll scan it, and those funds are going to be immediately deducted from your checking and savings account. So it's basically like a debit card, but quite a bit more convenient because you don't have to reach for your card. It's just all on your app, and it's really easy to send money from person to person and also person to merchant. So that's really the mentality of China. But in the Western world, we have credit, and credit is a great thing, and it's relatively easy to access. So, if you're a student, if you are just turned 18, and you just open your checking account or savings account, you can still probably qualify for certain starter credit cards. And as you get older and you build credit and you have more credit cards and you have a payment history of paying things on time, you build a credit history, and you can qualify for more exclusive credit cards that have better perks. So this video is all about, using your credit card in China as an expat when you can. And the reason why you do that is because with most credit cards, you can get some kind of incentive for using that credit card, be it cash back or earning points. So on your typical credit card, you might be able to earn something like 1.5% to 3% cash back on the high end, right? Low end being around 1% to 1.5% based on your credit card, based on your credit card company, cash back. So what that means is, if you spend $100, you're going to get $3 that you can apply as a statement credit. It's basically 3% cash back. Apple just released a credit card where they're actually going to credit your account the same day with that cashback bonus. Most credit cards do it at the end of the month, and still other credit cards give you points instead of cashback. So for instance, Chase, they have a whole line of credit cards that give you points, and those points, they can be redeemed for a statement credit, but if you go ahead and you accrue those points and you exchange those points with partners, you can actually get higher cash value. So what I mean by that is, if you take your Chase points and you apply it to your credit card summary, they might deduct, roughly 2% or 3% of the amount of the bill. So you get 3% back on the cash that you spent, deducted from your credit card bill. So if you spent $100, they might give you $3 as a statement credit. So you only have to pay back $97. Now, instead of paying back your statement credit, if you take those points and you apply it through their travel portal, you can actually redeem those points for other services. And typically when you redeem these points for different services, you'll actually get back higher cash value. So instead of 3%, you might get up to 4 or 5 or even 6% cash equivalent. So you can exchange your points for a flight ticket. You can exchange your points for a free night at a hotel or a flight upgrade, or any other kind of partner that they have on their portal, and you might be able to get more than 3% cash back. So there are some caveats, and there are some things that you should watch out for before just switching everything over to credit cards. So the first thing that you need is you need to make sure that your credit card has no foreign transaction fees. So typically when you sign up for a credit card, they'll list no foreign transaction fees as a perk. And you can always call your credit card company and ask them if you have transaction fees. But if you don't have transaction fees, then that means there's going to be no penalty for using your card in another country. And if you have foreign transaction fees, then probably this isn't going to be worth it, because those transaction fees are going to really offset any kind of bonus you get from cashback or points. So you want to make sure, first thing, that your credit card has no transaction fees. Now, if your card has no transaction fees, the second thing that you want to make sure is wherever you go, when they scan your credit card, when they swipe your credit card and you pay for it, you want to pay in the local currency. So a lot of the handheld devices that they have will give you the option. You can either pay in your native currency, so for me, because I'm from the US, that would be USD, or I can pay in the local currency, renminbi. And as a foreigner, you are sometimes you feel safer paying in your own country's currency because you know what the exchange rate is going to be. However, the way that system works is the credit card processor actually tacks on a transaction, a foreign exchange fee. And that fee could be substantial. It could be much more than what you typically encounter, even at the airport when you're exchanging cash. So what you want to do is you want to select the local currency. So in my case, in China, that would be renminbi or CNY. And if you pay in renminbi or CNY, what's going to happen is your credit card company is actually going to exchange your local currency, so your USD, for renminbi. And that's going to give you the best exchange rate. So if you have no transaction fee on your credit card and you pay everything in the local currency, then you're going to be taking advantage of the best foreign exchange rate. And that that rate is going to be basically the bank rate. And that rate is better than any kind of rate you can get in person. So when you go to the airport and you exchange USD for renminbi, they're typically going to give you a much higher rate than the rate that your credit card company is going to give you. And if you were to pay in USD on that credit card instead of renminbi, you're going to pay an even higher rate. So you want to make sure that you're paying with a credit card that has no transaction fee and that you're going to pay in the local currency to take advantage of that bank rate. So once you have those two things set up, then you're really all set to take advantage of the cashback or the bonus points that you can be collecting. And when you start doing that, there are a couple credit cards that I'd recommend. And what I like to do is I like to have different credit cards for different purposes. So the credit card that I use most of the time is the, let me not flash my credit card numbers on the internet, is my Chase Sapphire card. My Chase Sapphire card is something that I open up online, and this is not the highest cashback card, but it is, I would say, the highest highest value card. So with this, there's at the time of this video, it might change, so you have to check. There's no annual fee for the first month, for the first year. But after that, there's like a $96, $98 yearly fee, which is not too bad. And you get points back for any kind of dining, any kind of travel. You get points back on most things, and you earn bonus points in different categories. Why I like this card is because if I take these points and I exchange them on Chase's platform, I can actually get more than 3% back. I can get something like 4.5%, close to 5% back with this card. And because I travel a lot, I don't mind exchanging those points for additional services or upgrades instead of just taking the cash value. So outside of the Chase card, the other card that I use the most is my American Express card. And the American Express card is the American Express, let me again hide my credit card information, is the American Express Platinum. And this card has a lot of really nice perks. The first one, at the time of this video recording, being that I can get a TSA pre credit, meaning that I can apply online and then be able to go through an expedited security screening process at airports. The second thing that I get is I get access to American Express Centurion lounges. So American Express has created some exclusive lounges in the larger cities in the world. So they're not in every city, but in many of the cities in the US and a few cities abroad, they have some really, really nice lounges. So nicer than most lounges. They'll have free alcohol, free food, plush couches and sofas to sit in. And that's a godsend when you've been traveling for like 14, 16, 18 hours like I have sometimes. The other thing is you get access to Priority Pass for free, and that will get you into lounges all over the world. So there are many more locations. The caveat is that these lounges are going to be normally not as comfortable. They're not going to have as great amenities as the Centurion lounges, but it's still nice, and you can normally find a quieter place to sit at these lounges than just sitting in your typical airport like waiting room at the gate. So that's a really nice perk of the American Express. It is quite a bit more every year. I think like the annual rate is like somewhere between $400 and $500. So it's definitely more every year. But for me, these additional perks really help. It also gives you like gold status at some hotel chains. So there's some nice perks with American Express. So really, between the Chase and the American Express, I feel like I have my bases covered. There are other credit cards that you can use, and you can go online, you can look for those. But for me, I will typically do my purchases on the Sapphire, and I will take advantage of the amenities offered by the American Express Platinum. Alright, so I hope that helps you guys. If you start doing this now, the savings can add up really quickly, and if you're flying and traveling a lot, you're going to get these multiples for your bonus points, and that's going to let you travel just a little bit more comfortably from place to place and take advantage of some of the great offers that these hotels and airlines offer. So I hope that helps. See you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe. Thank you.